What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Around the ACL. It's Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder and Anthony Ione. We are coming off our Thanksgiving break. How was your Thanksgiving, Trey?
Thanksgiving was good. Actually, just the wife and I we didn't have her family she's got like half siblings, and the half that she's not related to, like they went and spent it with their grandmother, who's probably not got a lot of years left, and so her immediate family didn't have really anything to do. And then my dad went up north to visit my extended family. So we were like, well, what do we do? So we just did.
You're abandoned.
Yeah, we just did a couple of days, the two of us in Atlanta. It was relaxing. It was not stressful. It was very un-holiday around family like. So it was a good time.
Did you get turkey and stuffing and all the stuff?
Yeah. So again, I kind of had best of both worlds. So we went to a steakhouse that was running, because my wife does not like Thanksgiving food. Turkey, forget it. She could turkey, stuffing, none of that. No. I, on the other hand, love Thanksgiving food.
Heck yeah.
I love all the different things. So we went to a steakhouse that was running a turkey dinner special. So she got a steak and I got a turkey dinner, and it was the best of both worlds.
There you go. That'll work. How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, we got some family time in. So my ex pro, when I was doing the pro thing, my partner Bob Bronson, known as Uncle Bob to a lot of the pros. So that's my side of the family that we do most holidays. There's no other side of the family for me. It's just mom's side of the family, Uncle Bob side of the family. So we're a big group. We're about 50 plus that pile into my aunt's house on Thanksgiving, and then everyone comes over my house for Christmas. So it's the same crew, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we got fat. We ate and drank, so it was good. And then it rolled into Friday, with leftovers, and then a little lunch on Saturday. So I'm done. I think I'm over my turkey stuffing gravy thing for a minute for sure.
For the year, usually.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask Anthony how his 1,000-person Thanksgiving went, because I know
exactly.
Yeah, it's a big crew. It's a fun crew.
Well, you, Michelle, what did you do?
Mine's low key. We just go to my Nick's parents' house. My family's in Southern California, so we spend it here, and it's very low key. Watch football, eat some food, hang out with the fam. And the fun part, though, is our other tradition is we go up to the mountains and cut down our Christmas tree every year. Yeah, so that was super fun. There was a lot of snow.
I was just going to say, Did you get snow where you were? Because that was confusing me, because I was like, there was a lot of snow on the ground, but now it makes sense that you went.
Yeah, and you have to remember, so Paradise, where I used to live, it's at about 1,700 elevation, so we would get like a dusting in the winter, not much, but you just go up the mountain just about an hour, and you're in full-on snow. So it's not far.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in like a valley, right? So the mountains are right there. I used to live in the mountains. Obviously, they all burnt. So I was pushed here to the valley, and but yeah, the snow is not far at all. So it's nice. The coast, however, is very far, unfortunately. But I could live in the mountains. I love the mountains, but
Heck yeah.
Yep. But we are going to be heading to the coast for Virginia Beach for our next Open at the Virginia Beach Fieldhouse. This is going to be, it's on pace to be the biggest ACL Open ever. We have 384 teams signed up for rounders. That's a bit. We've seen some interesting partnering. We've seen some interesting names. So I'm curious to know who Fuzzy Fox is personally. So whoever you are, I gotta know. What is that about?
On radar.
A minute into the segment, Fuzzy Fox already got a shout out.
It has to. It has to. We've seen some crazy things. We've seen costumes. I saw the guy dressed up as Pikachu, whatever event that was. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff, but I gotta know who this person is and are they gonna dress up? But Trey, what are your thoughts going into this Open?
Yeah, so this for me is great timing, right? And this is going to be the most important Open that we see so far. That's kind of the headline for me. You're going to have the best players in the world, the deepest Open we've maybe ever had, but regardless, one of the deepest we've ever had, if not the. We're right up against the beginning of the shootout series that's happening the week of Myrtle Beach. as well as the team's draft. So all these different captains of teams, they're trying to figure out, they're putting their draft order together. They're putting all their desired picks together. I'm really excited for this weekend to really see who stands out, who makes a run, right? Who is playing at a high level and who can win this entire thing in singles and doubles. Because to me, those are the players they're going to execute and be the ones that should be favorites as we look forward to the start of the pro season coming up just at the end of December. So just really fired up for that. Individuals and teams goes, there's plenty to look at, right? Some players that are teaming up with their normal partners and some that aren't, as far as on the doubles side. Some players that have had good runs, some players that haven't had good runs yet. There's a lot of things for a lot of people to watch, right? I see Jordan Power and Devin Harbaugh on that list, right? Jordan Power coming off of a world championship, and you heard me say recently, I think Devin Harbaugh is one of the best players in the world right now. I had him high in my singles power rankings, right? I'm expecting a high level out of Devin Harbaugh this weekend, and he's playing in arguably now his newer home region, right? I know he's moved from Pennsylvania to Virginia, but regardless, I think he's going to be someone that I'm looking out for. Him playing with Jordan Power, that's going to be a fiery team. I don't know if you remember this, but go back to the shootout number 6 in Lakeland, Florida. Jordan Power was playing against diagonally Devin Harbaugh, right? And Devin Harbaugh was playing with Matthew Creekiller. Jordan Power starts mouthing a little bit. Devin Harbaugh.
Oh, yes, I do remember.
They went back and forth on opposite teams, right? Now they're pairing up together. So I really think this is going to be a team that's going to be fun and bring some energy.
And that's a bit out of character for Harbaugh. So it was nice to see him kind of, do you say, okay, Power's in his head, he drew him in, or you're like, okay, we see another side of Harbaugh we haven't seen before. I like this.
Yeah, 100%. So excited to watch them. The 2 most recent pro singles world champions will be teaming up. Trey Birchfield and Mark Richards, a 2021 champion, a 2022 champion. Obviously, the sky is the limit for that team, right? I mean, it feels like a win or you're upset type of mentality there if you're Birchfield and Richards. So just excited to see how they continue that. Let's see if Mark Richards can turn it back on, maybe get a singles win as we go into this new season, right? Because we remember how dominant he was when it came to these pro events, these stacked pro fields. So now that we're in a similar type of field of a really stacked lineup, let's see if he can execute.
And Trey, this might be about the time last year where Richard started to pop off, because I don't feel like he came out of the gate. I feel like it was right around Open maybe 4, 5, 6 where he had his first big showing, and then we were like, okay, and then he just kept rolling, singles. So this is about the time last year I think he popped off.
Yeah, 100%. It was in the January timeframe. We're getting into December. I mean, it's this middle part of the year, so we'll see if he's got it figured out by now. Fisher, Hamilton, and Eric Davis. I don't know if Michelle will be rooting for a team more than Fisher, Hamilton, and Eric Davis, but this another kind of fun team to watch. They're going to be slinging it. They're going to have some shots. I mean, that's a team that's going to be deadly, right? Talk about a shot-making team. I wouldn't want to mess with them, right? So really pumped to see Fisher Hamilton in kind of a pro field again. He won an Open last year. Let's see if he can live up to this hype that's come with him this rookie season.
I wonder which way they go on bags. I mean, if you put a BG-style bag, smaller template, round fill, you get a little bit more pop out of the rolls. I feel like Eric Davis could be just a little extra nasty with a BG-style bag in his hand. So I wonder if they go that way or if they go fire.
He has been. I've seen him throw BGs. He throws them well.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I would be surprised if they don't go BG. If they went fire, I think I'd be surprised. Surprised. So.
Yeah, me too.
Last one, Alec Ryan and Caden Allen, right? I'll get on my soapbox again that I think Caden Allen making a mistake not signing his PDC contract, but at the same time, he's one of those players that has a potential to be a top 10, top 15 player. The way he played at the first Open, top 5 player, right? Or second Open or whatever he won. He won a bunch of stuff, right? So Again, a lot of times we see this from certain non-professionals where they have a stretch of time where they're unbeatable. And you say to yourself, that guy will never lose. It's about sustaining that. Like the last one we saw, we saw that from Fisher Hamilton. There was this period last year where like Fisher Hamilton may never lose. This kid's unbelievable. He's a rookie and he's an amateur, right? But then when we got into this new season, it was like he's still really good, but he hasn't gotten back to that unbeatable level that we saw at that one Open.
Yeah.
I just want to see if Caden Allen is continuing that streak, or do we see a little bit of a drop off here? But playing with Alec Ryan, that's someone who has now seen sustained success at a really high level. And I think they have an opportunity to be a really, really tough team to go through. And I think they may have the potential to possibly win the whole thing in doubles. And that's saying something considering the level of talent that's out there with a lot of these top players. So, it's going to be a big weekend. And I think whoever is poised to win this one has an opportunity to be poised to win some big ones. And last thing I'll bring up, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't bring up the legendary match that we had at the Virginia Beach Open last season between Matt Guy and Alex Hicks, right? I mean, I think all of us can agree if we get that level of legendary play, that was the game of the year at the Stevies. That was voted game of the year. If we get another one of those, I think everybody's going to be pretty happy.
That was that was something to watch for sure.
Yeah, that game was epic. It was a good match to bring up. That game was epic. I actually started to break that match down frame by frame, every single bag. I put about 6 hours into it when I missed a flight coming back from Miami last year. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to dig into this thing. I had like a 4-hour layover. Went round by round. I got to about round 35, calculating every single bag, every airmail, every roll, and I was going to drop some type of a video on Cornhole Science to really break down this epic match. My file deleted at the airport. I was about 6 hours in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, gone. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my computer kind of tweaked out, could never find the file again. So I really wanted to see how that broke down with the two different contrasting styles. So I was like, I'm not going to try that again. But hey, Trey, just real quick on the size of this thing. I'm looking at this thing. It looks like in the notes here, 380 something doubles teams. How does that compare size-wise to some of the opens we see just in general? Is that a large Open?
Yeah, no, it'll be the largest Open. Assuming everybody that shows up, it would be the largest Open. We've had a similar one sell out originally, I believe, at 384, but I don't think everybody showed up, so it has the potential to be the biggest Open that we've ever had. So
384 is the cap, just how it fits into
brackets?
It
was sold out. They sold it out based on the space that they had. Josh Keck is like 384 is your max.
Okay. Teams. So that's, 700, almost 800 players.
Correct.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it'll push 800 unique.
All right, I'm just going to go through this live. I'm kind of looking at this one live. We were looking at it live right before we came on, just kind of talk through a couple of these. I see Renard and Jacquis in here. Have you ever seen Mike Jacquis's throw? It is very unique. He only pinches with his thumb and his middle finger. None of the other fingers touch the bag. So he's an OG player, really good bagger, somehow successful pitching the bag with two fingers. It blows my mind. I saw them in the list there. You mentioned Hamilton and Davis. Definitely the BG style bag. Probably staying away from the Wizard just because probably a little bit too fast, a little bit more of a slinky bag that Davis would like. So I could see them in a Viking. If they did, that would be good. Hunter Thorne and Duncan Klemmer in this one. I found that one interesting, or I'm finding that one interesting because you've got Klemmer and Almanza, who are a new partners this year. I mean, when we're seeing teams do this, especially when they don't have maybe any experience yet together, what is that saying to us? Is that saying that, hey, chemistry is not that important? Like, we're good baggers and we're going to get up there and do our own thing? Or what are your thoughts on that, Mish? I mean, I think what a great opportunity for this new partnership to play in an Open. Why would they choose not to?
Yeah, I think they're underestimating the power of energy and chemistry. I think that's maybe over. Like, yes, you can have two really good baggers on the opposite side of the boards, and you hope that's enough. But there's all this. There's the cornhole gods, and there's energy, and all the stuff we can't really account for. That I would think miles together would be very important.
Yeah, I
Well,
did
yeah,
ask. Go ahead.
because you had no. The funny thing is they flip flop both partners. It's
Yes.
like I mean they're playing with now. I don't think it's as big of a deal for Noah Wooten and Hunter Thorne because they already have chemistry in my mind, and on top of that, they've played together at Opens already this season. I agree with you. The bigger question mark is why aren't Duncan Clemmer and Noah Almanza taking this opportunity to play together?
Yeah, it blows my mind. I did ask Hunter before the California Open because he chose not to play with Noah in that one. And his answer was, hey, there's some other players that I just enjoy playing with. And if I said I'd want to try and play in an Open with you at some point. So he's like, I'm going to take advantage of that. But to your point, him and Noah, they already have that chemistry off the board.
Right.
Even outside of formal tournaments, they play so much together. So, but the Clemmer Almanza one is actually pretty surprising to me. Just cruising through these.
The season, we came into the season. Noah Wooten and Hunter Thorne. The last thing we were saying was they don't have team chemistry. We were saying they're going to have exceptional team chemistry. We just don't know to what level Hunter Thorne would play. So
anyway. I would like to see those guys team up just to see what they could do. That's Clemmer and Almanza. See what they got coming in. Tyler Cobb and Derek King. I'm seeing this one as I scroll through. That's different. Tyler Cobb's committed partner is Kobe Costanza. That's an interesting pickup. Derek King coming in playing with Cobb. I see, Stickney. He's a young, I remember him from the USA Cornhole. He was a young player who stood out. He's going to be playing with Ashton Spees. That could be a fun one to see if they, can make a run at an unexpected run, kind of a dark horse team there. Jeremy Schermerhorn and Joe Niestad. So we're not looking at them anymore as are they going to be a top team in this league, but how deep can they go? How high in the ranks could they go? So I'd be interested to see what they do in this Open, a big Open, like you said, stacked. So what does Schermerhorn and Niestad look like in that? Definitely going to be following those boys as we go through there. Got the Hunt brothers in there. I still don't know how they fit yet into the rankings individually. They're good players. I mean, I would say they're probably that 25 to 45 rank. What do they look like as a new partnership? And Bobby Hunt coming into the league. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for them as well. Berkeley Pear and Trevor Brooks. Hey, you mentioned team chemistry. They have all the team chemistry in the world. They're not committed partners, but really interested in what those guys can do. And Trevor actually hit me earlier in the week. I'm going to save it for my hot take. But that's going to be an interesting one I'm going to follow there. Hunter and Poitras. So I wasn't sure if we had seen them yet this season. I don't know if you guys recall. They were both in Open 1 individually. I just don't remember if they were partners in Open number 1. So, hey, what are we going to get out of them? They're another power team coming out of Team Fire, a co-ed team. I love to see those types of teams succeed, going co-ed in the main tournament, in the doubles format. So what are we going to get out of them? And what do you think about that one, Mish? What do you think about Hunter and Poitras?
I know. I can't remember if they played at all either. I actually asked you that. Like, have we seen them play together? I think they'll be a great team, but I just wish that I could say that I've seen them. And if they did play and we all forgot, that is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that one, more importantly, in that one is going to be on the single side. What does Tyler Poitras look like? You talked about the draft. This is going to be a good look at where does Tyler Poitras go in the draft as a standalone singles player. We're looking at the best available picks. He doesn't have a rank from last season. He wasn't a pro last season. So now where does he fit in? So some success here could move him up potentially to a first round draft. So that's going to be more of a look is what he does in singles. Humans and Malone, expect them to go deep. I think they might be a sneaky top 15, top 10 team this season. We're curious to see what they see more in doubles than alone in singles. Dingus and Lucas Jr. in the field. We got Halbert and Zockline in the field. Haven't had much of Halbert yet this season, or Zockline for that matter. So curious to see what those boys do in doubles and singles. We're going to have Baldwin, and the roster says Renner. So we got Cheyenne Bubenheim in here with Baldwin. Again, see what they do as a second-year team. Irwan and Seals. Okay, there's that one on the list. We got this new doubles team coming in, Team Ultra, both moving, or Irwan for that matter, moving over to Ultra. She's been breaking in those bags. She's liking them, so be curious to see what she does in singles as well as a doubles team. Trey, what do you think about Irwan Seals just in the overall field? What do you think? More of like a top 30 team, top 40 for those two?
Danny, I cannot predict Danny Seals.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what – I mean, Irwan has shown that she'll have flashes of actually competing at a really, really high level. Look, if I was a sports bettor, I wouldn't ever bet a game for or against Danny Seals because I have no idea what I'm ever going to get. Sometimes he'll make a broadcast, and sometimes – you just don't even – I don't know. It's tough. You can't watch Danny Seals either because when you watch him, it's like that bag is so ugly. Like that – this shouldn't work. But
wait, it's in the hole. It went in the hole.
It's just crazy.
Hey, the last one, Misha, I see we're running low on time. I did want to mention this one only because I recently got a peek at this player. I've heard the name kind of circulating a little bit, but saw a match between this guy and Trey Birchfield over the weekend, and he absolutely rolled Trey Birchfield. And that's Grayson, I don't know if it's Waller or Whaler, and Nico Morellis. So this kid Grayson, there was a live feed that popped up. Of course, it said Trey Birchfield. I jumped into it. I don't know if it was just a local or whatever. This kid was sitting in the king seat. Trey Birchfield come out of the losers bracket, rolled him. I mean, I think he was up 16 zip before Trey Birchfield even scored. The kid must have missed one or two bags in the first 6 or 7 frames. So I'm interested to see what these two do. Morellis, we know, is trending up, and then Grayson now on my radar. That kid was nasty on that little feed I saw this weekend. So looking for those guys.
Interesting. All right. Well, we will have to see, but we are going to talk about some teams trade rumors. That's right. We can trade in teams, and it's already starting. The New England Woodchucks are reportedly shopping the first overall pick. Trey, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so what I can tell you, insider information, the Woodchucks, they originally targeted a couple teams looking to acquire a second and third round pick closer to the swing of the snake, right? So in a snake draft, you're going to get the 16th and the 17th pick, right? If you're the 16th person. So in reality, I'm thinking that it's gonna cost them to get there, but they're looking to trade off that number 1 overall spot, possibly get to a late first round pick and an early second round pick there. In exchange, they want to give away the first overall pick and then some later round pick. Don't know eventually what that negotiation spot is going to be based on what I'm hearing. What they've offered in the past has been maybe a 10th round pick for that second option, but some teams are not willing to bite that low. So some negotiation going on behind the scenes. I know the Coasters were approached, and the Coasters denied that trade request. They are not denied. But the High Rollers are at least considering countering. And the Sliders and Marauders in particular have specifically reached out for interest. Now, I was a little bit interested to see the Georgia Sliders reaching out. They have the 5th overall pick, so they're jumping from 5 to 1. And I really was interested to hear your thoughts on this, Anthony. For the Sliders to go 5 to 1, that tells me they believe that there's someone that's going to be taken off the board by the time they get to number 5 that they want to make sure that they get. On Georgia's case, I'm not sure who that person would be. On the Marauders side, the Marauders have the 4th pick, okay? And so, but the difference is Jordan Power is on the Marauders. Mm-hmm. Likely to go 1 or 2 in the draft, I think, is Jay Rubin. So
right.
It makes a little bit of sense to me to see the Marauders maybe want to go up a couple spots to get Jay Rubin to pair with Jordan Power because they're afraid he may go in the first 3 picks. I don't know. Your thoughts on the Marauders and or the Sliders there, Anthony?
Yeah, just trying to break this down here as you're talking about it. So Woodchucks, New England, that's going to be Jacob Trzynski, Jimmy Humans, Storm Hogue. That's the number 1 pick we're talking about trading. This has Jimmy Humans written all over it. This is the way that this guy thinks. I'm pretty positive this is all Jimmy Humans kind of driving this trade, if you will. But if you look at that, Jimmy Humans and Storm Hogue, these are boys. I mean, they're probably best friends, if you will, within the pro division. If you look at a pro division event, these are boys. So they kind of feel like a natural partnership to me. They play a lot together. They can play a similar bag. That leaves Jacob Trzynski there going, let's get me a partner in that first round is kind of what I'm thinking. And if you look at, like you said, the first available picks, you got like a Rubin. That's not really a good fit, I think, for Jacob Trzynski. So I think that they're saying, hey, let's approach the Coasters, and I'm seeing them as the last pick. So they're going to get the turn, right, Trey? They're going to get the first pick, the last pick in the first round, and then the first pick in the second round. Is that how that works? Yep. So I can see them saying, hey, there's going to be a strong carpetbagger, which is what Jacob Trzynski is going to be looking for. Probably one of these rookies, these high-end rookies coming in, and they could say, hey, we could just get a quick two-round pick in that late round. I think that that's what their strategy is going for. Michigan Marauders, yeah, that seems like a natural fit, and probably why they would entertain that, moving themselves up to number 1 to grab Rubin to team up with Power there. That makes sense to me.
And the only thing I'm just considering, like, do the Woodchucks feel like going down to 4 at Michigan is not low enough? Right?
That's what I thought.
Are they not getting enough value out of that between those difference in 3 picks? Or do they sweeten it with some other picks, right? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if a trade comes through and if any other teams end up trading before that draft at the end of December.
Yeah, is this the start of a trend? Are we going to see, it takes the first person and then everyone kind of is like, interesting. Let me think about that. Well, let's look at the news around the league. We're actually going to look at our women's and seniors and junior standings. In women's right now, Sam Finley is in first, Lori Duell's in second, and Courtney Coy is tied with Lori Duell. For seniors, we have Damon Dennis first, Donald Cup second, and Steve Samuels. And then for juniors, we have Micah Oakes, Ryan Weir, and Chase Petrie. So those are our standings right now. Quick thoughts about our women's, senior, and junior, Trey.
Yeah, two big storylines that I'm following when it comes to seniors and women's standings for me in particular. Number 1, is it Cheyenne Bubenheim and everybody else this year? Does somebody else legitimately have a chance to upend her as the number 1 overall seed in women's standings now? She's not on the list right now because she hasn't gone to that second Open just yet. That will likely change. That is going to change going into this weekend in Virginia Beach. So the question is, can somebody else challenge her for that number 1 spot? And then the only other second development I'm looking for this season is, where is Frank Modlin in these senior rankings, right? First year senior. He's a rookie senior, if that makes any sense. And I'm interested to see if this is Damon Dennis's to lose again this year, or if Frank Modlin has a chance to knock out Damon Dennis for that number 1 senior spot.
Right. Any follow-up thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm just looking at too while you're talking. So I haven't seen this yet. So for anybody else out there, go to the iPlayCornhole.com website, and now under rankings, you've got women's, juniors, and seniors as their standalone categories. So Trey, does that what will that entail? Will that just be, locals, opens, regionals, conferences? That's going to be all of the open standings, if you will, for those categories?
No. So this year we have women's specific, senior specific, and junior specific. And if you look in the player guide, it's the women's singles events at Opens, the women's singles events at Nationals, the best of all those combination of events, as well as conferences. So it's a combination of the women's and senior events. So if you look there, I'll give you the exact breakdown of what events are counting. But the idea is at the highest level in these division specific. So a women's standings is only going to show women competing against women events.
Okay. But only at the Conference Open National.
Correct.
Okay, got you. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. It'll be interesting to see how many amateurs slip into the top of that list. Now mixed in with the pros on that, so I'm pretty excited. But any list that doesn't have Cheyenne Bubenheim at the top, I can't trust. She's 32nd, so there you go.
She's 32nd. Yeah, a little early. That's for sure. All right. Let's go into buy or sell. I'm going to name off some players, and you guys let me know if you buy or sell that they'll go in the first round in the ACL team's draft. First one being Jordan Kamba. Trey, buy or sell?
I tried to talk myself out of putting him in the first round, but similar to Tyler Poitras, right? If you get someone that less than 15 months ago was playing for a world championship in doubles, and you're telling them I can have them on my team, I think you just have to take it. I'm gonna buy that he's a first round pick.
Anthony?
Trey, I was doing the opposite. I was trying to talk myself into putting him on the list. The doubles world championship is huge. I totally get it. I just don't have much from Kamba over the last. Obviously, he was going through the suspension last year, not in the pro division, but he was in the open division. He was competing. We didn't get much. I didn't see a first round draft worthy pick in Kamba in the amateur series either. So I'm struggling to get him in the top. I'm going to sell it. He's going to go second round.
All right. How about Jimmy McGuffin? Buy or sell, Trey?
This is another one that I think is tough, but I think he's too consistent. And if the Kentucky Colonels don't take Brett Guy, I think they're going to end up taking Jimmy McGuffin. They've shown that Kentucky last year in the draft, Damon Dennis, who is going to be also a captain this year or a member of the team this year, was very in favor of taking people from Kentucky, right? Mm-hmm. So I think a similar trend is going to prevail here. I think Jimmy McGuffin, who was a captain last year, gets taken first round again. I'll buy.
Anthony?
Yeah, man, not only is he first round worthy, but you mentioned the Kentucky Colonels. Do they go Brett Guy? Do they grab Jimmy McGuffin, whose committed pro partner is Damon Dennis, one of the captains? Or is Matt Guy saying, hey, let me get Brett? I mean, I think you go Jimmy McGuffin over Brett Guy in a singles format, but in a doubles format, like you mentioned last week, Trey, that gives Brett Guy a lot of credibility when you're talking doubles in a 10-round limited format. So, hey, I still think he goes first round, whether it's the Kentucky Colonels picking him up or he goes a couple picks later. Jimmy McGuffin, I'm going to buy that first round.
How about Frank Modlin? Buy or sell?
I think this was the toughest one yet. I am going to buy it. I'm buying 3 in a row, which is unlike me, but I will buy it. I think he's late first round, but I think there's way too much upside on Frank Modlin, especially in a round limited format. He has shown time and time again that he delivers in those type of environments. It's like one of those things where I just don't see a team getting at the 16th pick and going, Frank Modlin's available. No thanks. I'll buy.
Okay. Anthony?
I'm going to buy as well. Not only is he a first round talent, but I think he's really smart in the round limited formats. Like you were saying, Trey, I think he knows when to go for the points and when to back off and just put one on the board when it's necessary. I think his IQ works really well for that format. I'm going to buy that he's a first round pick.
I think I'd like someone named Find a Way Frank on my team. All right. How about Derek King? Buy or sell?
So Derek King, top 10 in doubles this past season, right? With Devin Harbaugh. In a doubles format, Derek King has shown he is one of the best players in the world. Unfortunately, I think among the players and among the drafters, I think there's going to be some hesitation to draft him for a variety of reasons. I am going to sell it. He may have a first-round talent, but I don't think he gets drafted in the first round. Sell.
Anthony?
Man, Trey took the words right out of my mouth. Everything he said is exactly how I'm feeling. And just this huge discrepancy between his singles and his doubles performances is the hesitation I think that the player or the captains are going to get. So I'm going to sell as well, not going in the first round.
All right, last one, Jacob Foreman. What do we think?
This is another tough one because another top 10 in doubles player that when you think about their singles and doubles performances, I think yet again, there's this hesitation. Now, the Pennsylvania Ringers, who Matthew Creekiller is on, they have the 16, 15, 14. They have the 13th pick overall in the draft. There is a chance they go and steal Matthew Creekiller's partner, Jacob Foreman, there at that 13th spot. But I think it's a little bit of a reach if they do that. I think they'll play a little bit more conservative. I think they may be able to get him on the backswing in the second round. I think he's a second-round pick.
Anthony?
Yeah, I think the question here is which dirty bag carpet style role players are going to go first? Jacob or Foreman is definitely in that pool, right? But you've got a Beamer who, again, no one's really talking about, but he's top on the list in the best available picks. Ryan Smith out there, Wiedenfield, now a rookie. Do you pick Wiedenfield before Foreman? Do you pick Burton Jr. before Foreman? Do you pick a Fisher Hamilton before Foreman? You could say the same thing about Cano and Costanza. So there's a high supply of carpet players, but the demand is what I just don't know. What's the demand going to be like from the captains? I'm really hard on the fence on this one. I think I'm going to go with Trey on this one as well. I'm going to sell that he's an early pickup in the second round.
All right. We're going to get into some doubles power rankings. So we did power rankings before the first Open, and we talked about singles, and now we're going to go into doubles. So Trey, you're up first.
Yeah, we were joking about this before we started recording this because this is a mess. This was horrible to do. This was painful to do. Like,
no doubt.
We did singles last week. That was so much easier. Singles was so much easier than doubles. I made a joke with Anthony that on my sheet of paper, I have a line under number 4 that literally says anything from 5 through 14, you could just throw in a hat and draw. Like, literally, I have 9 teams right there, or I guess 10 teams that could literally be any combination. But I tried my best. Number 1, I got Lopez and Richards. Team of the year last year. They already won an Open. I know they changed bags, but they've already won an Open after changing bags. That earns enough respect.
Number 1. Did I hear that right? Number 1? Richards Lopez? Okay.
Richards Lopez.
Let's not glaze over that.
Yep, number 1, Richards Lopez. They right now that they're playing that way. They had to prove something to me. I was worried that they couldn't come through it. Power rankings for me are not a predictive tool. Right now, they've earned number 1, and they get to keep number 1. Number 2, Graham and Guy. Similar reasons. They're number 2. For last season, they were the second best team all year long, in my opinion. And they followed it up with Jamie Graham being really, really good. They're going to play again this weekend. Graham and Guy at 2. Number 3, Power and Rubin. I could have easily switched them with number 4, which is going to be Alex Rawls and Trey Birchfield. But I have Jordan Power and Jay Rubin at 3. They won a world championship. I'm seeing flashes of them being really, really good still. But in the end, I think being a world champion means a lot. They're going to deliver when it matters most. Not as worried about them. They seem to me a team that doesn't get up very well for the tournaments that don't matter, right? A team that if you do a regional tournament, they may not win. But you put them in a world championship, you put them in a national, they always seem to deliver and come to play. So for that, I got them at 4. I mean, at 3 with Rawls and Birchfield at 4. Here's where it gets crazy. I don't know where to go from here. Yeah. I have Hicks and Windsor at number 5. Hicks is worrying me. And Anthony, I know, feels a similar way about Alex Hicks right now. I do not like what I'm seeing from Alex Hicks at Open levels. But what I'm not liking from Hicks, I'm liking in Windsor. Okay, yeah. So right now they flipped a little bit. So I'm keeping them there. I think Devin Harbaugh is one of the best players in the world right now. I have Harbaugh and King at 6. Yes, Harbaugh and King at 6, which is just crazy in my mind, right? Because you'll never know what you're going to get from Derek King, but I'm that high on Devin Harbaugh right now. Number 7, I have the Hollands, and I don't like it. Like, I want to put them – I tried everything I could to put them at 11, to put them at 12. And I could not do it, Anthony. I could not take Derek and Josh Holland out of the top 10. I couldn't do it. Number 8, this is where I threw in someone that wasn't – it was kind of out of left field. I have an all-rookie team, Fisher Hamilton and Gavin Cano at number 8. I think based on what I've seen so far, they are going to be the real flippin' deal, okay? They are going to be really good this season. Number 9, this is another one of those teams. I wanted to take them out, but I couldn't do it. Eric Zockline and Tanner Halbert at 9. I just have a feeling that they're going to be better. And I feel like 9 right now is almost like – the reason they're so low is because they haven't played. But I think Eric Zockline is just going to be better this year. And if he's better and Tanner Halbert's the same, this is another top 5 team. Finally, I have Jimmy Humans and Kyle Malone at 10.
Yes.
Kyle Malone is having a heck of a start to the season. He's arguably, if not one of the best doubles partners of all time. Okay? And Kyle Malone playing with the Jimmy Humans, this analytical player, throwing Reynolds, which is his preferred bag over the years. I don't know. I just like what I've seen so far. I left off Guy and Davis, Clemmer and Almanza, Grindersleeve and Batson. They're a team that's forgotten about. They deserve to be top 10, and I couldn't find a spot for them. Jacob Trzynski and Tony Smith aren't in my top 10, and I want to put my head through that wall because I'm an idiot for doing that. Like, there's no way they're not a top 10 team. Jeremy Schermerhorn and Joe Niestedt. Jeremy Schermerhorn is outrageous right now. They should be a top 10 team. Ryan Smith and Ryan Wiedenfeld should be a top 10 team. So this is a terrible list, and I know it is, but I don't know how else. I don't know how else to construct it.
I totally get it, Anthony.
All right. Well, if your list is terrible, mine is too. We talked about our list. We're probably going to go opposite. We actually share 7 of the top 10. And then every single player that you were mad or team that you were mad you didn't put in the top 10, I did. So I covered you on those. So we're really, really close. But I agree completely. You get past 4 and it's like, man, the next 15 teams could easily shuffle into this top 10. Our 1-2, the same, but swap a little bit. So I'm still sticking with Guy. Graham is 1. Richards, Lopez 2, coin flip. I agree completely. 1-2, 1-2. You could flip those around. However, my number 3 is your number 4, Alex Rawls and Trey Birchfield. I'm struggling keeping them at number 3 because of Trey Birchfield. I know what we're going to get. I feel like I know what we're going to get from Alex Rawls. I just don't know where Trey Birchfield is right now. Still an elite level player, but is he a top 3 doubles player in the world? Is really going to be determined on him. My number 4 is your number 5. We're really close on that one. It's to the Hicks-Windsor discussion and sitting at 4 right now because of Ryan Windsor. You said it perfectly. I don't need to re-say what you said, but I have them at 4, and I'm really struggling to keep them there. Realistically, if I were to do this a couple more times, I could convince myself to move them down a little bit. Also have Jay Rubin and Jordan Power in my top 10. You had them at 3. I've got them at 5. You can't, like you said, you can't deny the world championship, the run they had there at the end, and what they have coming into this season. So let's see if they can hold their top 10. We both squeezed this new team into the top 10. My 6, your 8, Fisher Hamilton and Gavin Cano. Just adding them to the top 10. So
you went 6.
I
thought I was bold. I love that. I love that.
That was a bold one for sure. You said you wanted Tony Smith and Jacob Trzynski in there, and you're going to smash your head against the wall for not having them in there. I've got them at number 7. Obviously, going to come down to Trzynski. What is Trzynski going to bring to that partnership this year? I know Tony Smith is going to be strong in that, and I think Jacob Trzynski can bring enough to keep them in the top 10. Ryans, Smith, and Wiedenfeld did make my top 10. You wanted to put them in there. They're my 8. We share number 9 identically, Eric Zockline and Tanner Halbert. And my number 10, I dropped the Hollands out. I just don't know. I just not liking what I'm getting from Josh Holland right now. I feel like just statistically and finish-wise, he should be way higher, especially getting this close to the Myrtle Beach, firing things off with the shootouts, going into the pro season at the beginning of next year. I went with number 10, Joe Niestedt and Jeremy Schermerhorn cracking the top 10. Trey, what do you think, man?
I love it. Like I said, I wanted to fit him in there. Probably our biggest difference is, and I know why it's a big difference. I'm buying Harbaugh and King right
Yes.
now, and you are selling Harbaugh and King, right? I got him at 6, and I understand your hesitation. Don't know what you're going to get out of King this year. My only logic for that one is just we did the same thing last year, and they finished a top 10 team. We had the same reservation. I would say even more reservation about King last year in comparison to this year, but is what it is.
I just think Anthony, you and I have the exact same top 5.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of weird.
That's awesome. Who do you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Real quick, Michelle.
Guy Graham, Richards Lopez, Birchfield Rawls, Windsor Hicks, Ruben Powers, Smith Trzynski, Halbert Zockline, Harbaugh King, Holland.
Well, you're buying on Harbaugh King too. Okay.
I put Wooten Thorne in there. I put Hamilton, Kano, and Maudlin Campa right after.
Ooh, I like that. Wooten Thorne in there.
Yes, they
That's my
moved
10.
up. They're my 13. And I love your Humans Malone, Trey. I had them at 19 to start the season. They're now my 12. So they're moving right in close to that top 10 as well.
Well, we barely have enough time for your game, Trey. Can you go like a speed round?
Yep, I got 2 real fast. All right, okay. Number one. This person 27th all time with 3 titles.
Okay.
3 titles.
Doesn't help.
The split is 2 singles and 1 doubles.
Okay.
The 1 doubles title is not with their pro partner. Okay.
Oh, it's a shootout or something.
Their partner this season was not their partner. Their partner this season was not a pro last season.
Oh. Strong in singles, won a double, rookie pro partner this year.
Have we already said Ryan Smith? No, he has to be higher up.
It's not. And then this person is 2nd all time in titles for a female.
Oh.
Okay,
different pro partner. Juan and
Kaylee Hunter has a
Kaylee Hunter.
Yes, she's got. Yes.
I didn't say their partner was a rookie. I said it was their first year. Last year. All right, last one, real quick. This person also 27th all time with 3 titles. All 3 titles in doubles.
Okay.
They have a new partner this season.
Dang, not Derek King then.
They've had 4. There's their 4th year as an ACL pro.
Hey, we already did. Well, we were just talking about Kyle Malone. How about Kyle Malone?
Wow!
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Anthony!
Oh my gosh!
Anthony's
Mike
getting too good this game. Too good.
He's gotten so good. All right.
I think it helped that we were just talking about him.
I know. My next guess was going to be that this person was in my top 10 power rankings.
Oh yeah.
I love it. All right, Trey, let's hear your hot take.
Hot take. I am continuing to, I don't know what it is about Alec Ryan, but I'm going to keep doing it. Hayden Allen and Alec Ryan are in the finals of doubles this weekend in Virginia Beach.
Anthony, you alluded to yours.
Yeah. So my my hot take came straight from a pro. He convinced me that he didn't ask me to, but it convinced me. He said, we took 3rd last year in this event, in this Open. He said, we're going to win in Myrtle Beach or in Virginia Beach. Bet it. Trevor Brooks and Berkeley Pair to win it this weekend. Bet it. That is a hot take. Tell me that's not a hot, because I told him that too.
That's flaming.
You didn't even take Ryan and Allen to win it all. You just said the finals.
No, in the final. No, I ain't saying no. Anthony wins the hotness of the takes today.
Yeah.
My response to Trevor would be, that's one hell of a take, man. So there it is. There's my hot take.
I don't think mine's very surprising. I'm going to take Eric Davis, Fisher Hamilton. I know.
Oh,
shocking.
my gosh. Surprise.
To win it all. Let's go, boys. All right. That's all we got time for today. Enjoy the cornhole this weekend in Virginia Beach, and we'll see you all next time.